I'm going to show you how to grow and scale a 10,000 to 50,000 per month paid community. This is going to be a full community synthesizer course. I've analyzed all the top educational influencer systems to where they're synthesizing and creating content, leading followers down their funnel to eventually purchasing their productized knowledge. And they all have similarities that they're using to make millions off of their info products. And today we're not going to be seeing all of them scramble into wanting to get into this paid community model. I myself released my first paid community a couple months ago and got $20,000 in 5 days. Paid communities are the next evolution of the creator economy. This is something that I realized months ago and it changed my life. So let's get started so you can be ahead of the paid community adoption curve. All right, so we're here on the computer here, and I'm going to be going through this entire full course for you. Most importantly, I'm going to be exposing what the top influencers, creators are doing to literally make thousands of dollars a month, anywhere upwards to like $100,000 a month. This is what they're doing. And why am I giving this to you? Well, I just like giving free value, especially this kind of information that people are selling for literally thousands of dollars. I'm just going to provide it for you for free. And the way we're going to do that is help you build a Skool community up to $50,000 per month by synthesizing winning content. That's a secret there. What big creators are doing is synthesizing content. And I'm going to show you how to productize your knowledge or any sort of skill you have to make it into a 50,000 a month paid community. And it's just 6 simple steps that we're going to be going through. This is going to be a full breakdown. Nothing is going to be let out. So we're going to be developing your online presence, become a synthesizer, productizing your knowledge to launch a Skool community. Now I'm going to start off with this. Those who are ahead of bringing their following off platform and fulfilling the community needs will be ahead of everyone. You're going to hear me talk about this a lot. People are going to be hopping on this community trend or this whole idea of just developing community pretty soon. Right now, we're a couple months ahead, and this is the perfect spot where we want to be. The future of social media and the creator economy is really going to be geared towards developing a community. That's one reason why you want to start a Skool community so you can capitalize on that, but you want to be world building, which is going to be an important thing. I'll begin to talk about that later. So you can create a paid community for almost anything here. We have, fitness, health, online business, productivity, e-commerce, crypto, language learning, whatever it may be. You can really generate a lot of money, especially with this whole new Skool platform for any niche that you're going to pick. And I'm going to show you how to go about content later on and pick a niche. But if you have an idea in mind, just know you can create a community for almost anything. Pretty much educational based is the best way to create a community. That's where you're going to get the most money, as that just totally makes sense. Now, if you're a creator, a reason why you want to do this is you build an acquisition arm that helps monetize your following. And if you don't have a following yet, I'm going to show you how to grow a following, or you can work with a creator to launch their paid community. And like I said, this video is just going to go over everything that you need to know. Basically, this information is what people are charging thousands of dollars a month for. I'm giving it to you for free. So once again, this video is for you if you already have an audience and want to launch a paid community, or you need another and better way of building your creator business. This is also for you if you don't have an audience, which is important. I'm going to show you all about that. And this is also for you if you're an experienced content creator and you have an info product in development and you want to launch this, or if you're not a creator and you don't have an info product, I'm going to show you how to pair up with a creator and launch an info product and make $50,000 a month. Also, this is for you if you want to stay ahead of the creator economy curve and develop a long-lasting, high-leverage product to get your time back. And I say high leverage because info products and a paid community is one of those things where you build it once and sell it an infinite amount of times, meaning that there's not really any operational overhead unlike a e-commerce product. Let's use this microphone here, for example, DJI microphone. This costs a lot of money for the company DJI to make, and therefore it eats into their profits. Whereas a digital product is one of the most high leverage things you can sell because it's digital, because it's online. People can just download it or be a part of your community. You build it once, sell it 1,000 times. There's no operational overhead that goes into it. Now, if you're starting from zero, I recommend developing your own following as you build your community. This is extremely important. Somewhere where I kind of went wrong in the beginning, you could say I have 60,000 followers on Instagram, and I really wish I started to develop a paid community as I began, as my life would have been a lot easier. Don't be afraid to start this off right away and just do it. You can literally start earning if you have 1,000 followers. And that kind of brings me into my next point. You should be earning anywhere from 25 cents to $1 per follower. That's the rule here. So meaning 1% of your audience will typically become a buyer. Put that into number perspectives. 100K followers should equal $100,000 per month, which equals $1 per follower. Now I know some creators who have much less of a following and are exceeding that $1 per follower rule. This is just a conservative estimate for you. As long as you're using the right tactics in community building, you'll exceed those expectations and the $1 per follower rule. And this is what this video is going to go over, how to basically break this rule and do a whole lot better. Now, so proof that I know what I'm doing, this is a paid info product and community that I launched a couple months ago. You can see in November through December, and I earned 20,000 in 5 days, kind of shut it off from there to keep that exclusivity factor there. But yeah, so I've launched a paid community. This is my Instagram account where I help out a bunch of other businesses with content and growing communities as well. I have 63,000 followers. Funny thing is, I'm also the face, or was the face, of Entrepreneur Media. It's this prestigious company. I helped them out with their content a while back. So a lot of this community stuff really deals with that top of funnel content engine and doing that properly to lead people into the community. So content is a huge part of this, and I'll be covering that a lot. And just to show you I know what I'm doing, I've helped develop content that's literally taken this company, Entrepreneur Media, from 20,000 views a month all the way to 12 million views a month. So that's like a 400x increase when it comes to just general awareness for them. And I'll be sharing you the secrets on how I did this that translates over to community building. Another company that I helped is Robert Kiyosaki here, or the Rich Dad Company. Can't show you their numbers, but from what they showed me and all the analytics that they share, they hit $100,000 in a single day from one of their info products. And we help them out with the marketing and content all around that, as well as developing that info product. So why is this building a Skool community the best business model? Well, anyone could start this, which is great. Right off the bat, you can start this. Everyone needs a personal brand. We've been hearing people scream about this from the top of the mountain, that personal brands are the way to go. Everyone needs one, so it's time to start building one. This community goes hand in hand with a personal brand, or if you want to help someone capture and monetize their personal brand a little bit more. Communities are the natural evolution of the creator economy. I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, that the creator economy is heading off platform, and the ones who are able to recognize that in the very beginning are going to be ahead of that curve. And the most important part, the ones who are able to monetize off of that are going to be the people at the top making the most money when it comes to the creator economy. We're seeing all these big creators kind of shift that way when it comes to info products. At first, you start out with a course, and now you see everyone doing cohorts. The next step into that is asynchronistic community learning. There was a flaw for the original course, and then that's why I shifted over to the cohort courses. But there's a flaw with cohort courses as well. And that's the fact that, number one, you have to be an extremely good teacher to hop on a call every single week and teach a lesson. And the second factor to why there's a flaw in cohort learning is because people have to change their lifestyle to show up to that video or that weekly call that people are having. If you can create a community with asynchronistic learning, it helps the community member be able to learn on their own time. But the community, what that adds is that accountability factor that the cohort had. So the future of the creator economy and this whole educational niche is developing communities. And that just doesn't even mean paid community. Of course, we want to capitalize on that. There's much more to that when it comes to actually developing like a cult following. But yeah, that's where the future's heading. And yeah, that leads into creators are decentralized media companies. Going to touch on this and what that means with content synthesizing, but quick one-liner about it is creators are basically not showing any new information. They're just pulling winning information and sharing it with their audience, making them kind of like a decentralized media company. And paid communities are decentralized colleges. We're at a point where the creator economy is also kind of in line with the e-learning educational economy, and how the fact that colleges today just have zero trust. They're not worth the money that people are spending. So creators are naturally becoming these decentralized colleges with these paid communities where, where the coach in the community is a creator, and that would be like a professor in the college. The admin in the community are like general staff. So it's all becoming like this decentralized college where people can also get that network effect. I've done this for community and made $20,000 monthly as a complete beginner beginner was showing you kind of my stats here. I did that with a completely new channel, by the way, so it's pretty good. And the best part of this is zero startup cost. You don't need any money to start this. You just need yourself, a computer, and a little bit of knowledge. Highest leverage product, a digital good, kind of explained that already. And paid communities is a profitable product, just the nature of it, where there's not that much overhead. It's a digital kind of good. It's an information that you're sharing, and you won't have to worry much about letting your profits go by. You can literally do this from anywhere in the world, whether you're in Dubai, Miami, Arizona like I am, or just anywhere. Like literally if you're anywhere in the world, Japan, you can create this because it's all online. Now, if you're a service provider, agency owner, coach, or consultant, having a paid community will also triple the value of your service. There's definitely a trend going on where people want services, but they want this network effect that goes along with it and the learning that goes along with it. So having a paid community where all the people that you're servicing can learn and help bounce off each other, network, learn from each other. It's a great thing to add on to it where you can provide a lot more value and even up your service. Cohort style learning is turning to asynchronous to community-based learning. Kind of went over that already. So let's move on. All right. So we're going to get into the meat where I'm going to expose a lot of creators here. Not really exposing, but this is essentially what they're doing, is being creator synthesizers. And I've actually gotten this term from somebody else like Dan Coe or Andrew Kirby, but call it whatever you want. What people are doing is just curating information. I'm going to use a case study here of the Daily Stoic. But before we get into that, just want to let you know that winning ideas are gold. Sifting and filtering through the shitty rocks, which is all the information that is online, and finding the gold, the winning ideas, allows you to buy attention online. That's really important. There's too much information online for one person to dive deep into. Your job is to go deep and share the winning information that people need to know. You can turn your habit of content consumption into a positive where you can profit. Start now and learn and share your thoughts. Also, if you're a creator who already has a following and you're watching this, this is only going to help you kind of unlock a new perspective when it comes to creating content, going viral, and then also converting all your followers into this paid community. So I highly recommend this if you're a content creator and already have a following. But if not, this is also going to be even more valuable for you. All right, so let's use this case study of a synthesizer who is literally making $5 million a year. And they're just a synthesizer, and his name is Daily Stoic. Now, this guy's amazing. I'm not bashing out on him at all. Definitely love his content. Recommend checking him out. But Daily Stoic makes $5 million a year just curating and synthesizing content from ancient Stoics and philosophers. So here's a high-level overview of how he's a synthesizer. Number one, he spends hours consuming Stoic content. Two, he finds the winning information from previous Stoics like Marcus Aurelius. Then three, this is important, he packages the information to be effective on social media. He adds his thoughts, content ideas, and makes it sensible for today's world. That's what synthesizing is. He's not necessarily coming up with any new information. He's adding upon old information and making sure that it's valuable advice for the modern man today. And then number four, he develops a following online or a community. Then number five, he leads into more in-depth information, synthesizing even more, but just more in-depth. And then number six, he productizes his info and his knowledge on the information he's studying into books, courses, whatever it may be. And then seven, he collects, this is supposed to be $5 million a year from synthesizing. I'm going to show you a little bit more in depth how he does that. So Daily Stoic or Ryan Holiday pulls Stoic information from in-depth resources like books, newsletters, philosophers, interviews, etc. So let's look at his account. So this is his Instagram account. He has 3 million followers. Here's a video of him literally talking about Seneca, a Stoic, and sharing something that Seneca has said, but then applying it to the modern man to make it a valuable Stoic advice today. So yeah, all he is doing is really just diving deep and sharing the winning information. So that leads into number two. And I have this quote here for you. People are time deficient and have information abundance, but lack wisdom. I forget who this quote is by. So if anybody knows, comment that and I'll give them the credits. But yeah, this is a really good quote. Ryan is just finding old Stoic information that can be effective in someone's life today. And he's finding ideas and concepts that will help fill the pains and desires of a modern day person. Number three, he then packages the information to be effective on social media. The ancient Stoics didn't write their books to be effective on social media. Daily Stoic converts the information to fit a modern day social format to garner attention. He uses classic attention-grabbing techniques for social media, storytelling philosophies and tactics, and then also converts information to a video. And the way he synthesizes it, he connects two ideas together, whether it's him adding his own thoughts on top of Stoic information or applies the information to your modern day problems. Here's a quick example where he literally makes a video, 9 Stoic rules for a better life from Marcus Aurelius, which is an old time Stoic. So he's literally taken 9 Stoic rules, a curation of rules he found from ancient Stoics from all the books he read, and then for a better life. This is where he's then synthesizing the information by applying it to your modern life and giving his own thoughts on top of it. So 9 Stoic rules from Marcus Aurelius for a better life, his own thoughts on top. And that gets some 2.7 million views. Number 4, he develops the following online. So through content, Daily Stoic naturally develops a following on social media platforms. And then he also builds his personality, and that's how you kind of take the synthesizing thing, but also cultivate a cult following and a community by adding his personality in there. And it really is just sharing a little bit more about your life. Like he talks about fatherhood and his love for books, and he has a podcast where he highlights a little bit more of his personality. Being a synthesizer of knowledge is great, but you also must build your own personality into your content to build a community of followers. This is something that we're seeing a lot of the top creators do, like Dan Coe, Justin Welsh, who's making $2 million a year, where he's literally just synthesizing information that he finds online, just like the Daily Stoic. So number 5 here in this case study is he leads into more in-depth information. This is how you begin to convert your following into actual paying clients by going more in depth. And we'll talk about this a little bit more. This is just kind of a case study highlight. But from TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, they are all there to gain attention. But for the Daily Stoic to convert followers, you must lead them toward more information. So that's in the form of a YouTube or a newsletter, just more in-depth information where he's building trust, authority, and value. It's really because that top of funnel content, the Instagram short form, Twitter kind of content, it's hard to build that trust factor, that authority, and that value because it's really mainly there for discoverability. So leading people towards a lead magnet of some sort, and we'll go over this, is really important. So his top of funnel is Instagram, Twitter, and IG. He highlights the need to know Stoic information that goes viral. In the middle of his funnel is actually the newsletter, YouTube, and it brings you into more in-depth information to build personality, brand, authority, and trust. Then finally, at the end of it, he sells his info products, books, courses, whatever he's selling. He just builds enough trust and value to convert leads into his productized info. So he's packaging up his main ideas, concepts, actionable steps, puts them into books and courses that we see here, where he's literally making 2 million to 5 million a year just from Stoic content and synthesizing that. Now imagine if he had a paid community to hold people accountable for becoming a Stoic-esque kind of person. He doesn't have this yet. Guarantee you he will implement this. We're just ahead of the curve. But once he does, this is another area where he's going to be able to make $100,000 to $200,000 a month. So, all right, so that's the case study there. But what are some actionable steps for you? I want this to be a follow along where you can, if you want to, pause this video and actually go out to start to do these things. This is a full guide and we're going to give you the actionable steps you can build as I'm speaking here. So number 1, find online mentors. Start off by writing down 3 interests or things you'd like to talk about. Example, online business, stoicism, psychology. Those are 3 things that you may be interested in. Then from there, find 2 to 5 mentors or creators under each interest. So for online business, we have people like Alex Becker, Naval, Alex Hormozy. Stoicism content, we have Daily Stoic, Marcus Aurelius. Psychology, Tim Ferriss, Jean Piaget, Sigmund Freud. Healthy Gamer GG, he's a creator that you can use as your mentor. From there, then you collect winning ideas into a database. You are looking for the ideas that can apply to a modern person's pains and desires. Store all winning information in a content database. Here's my content database. As you can see, there's a tons of different boards here that we got. I know you can't tell exactly what's on them, but this is just information that I'm storing to develop later. And I've got this all through watching content, curating information that I like, and documenting it by putting it on this Notion. So just to cover, an idea database helps you store information, winning ideas, develop content ideas, and connect ideas. Number 3, package and synthesize to develop content. Connect ideas with each other, add your own thoughts on the information, write content out for a specific platform, IG, Twitter, YouTube, whatever you want to do, just pick one platform. This whole concept here, or this framework, can literally work on anything. People are doing it on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. All your top creators are doing this. They're literally just finding old information and presenting it to their audience and then productizing that information that they find. Number 4, develop a hook for the winning idea. So a little hook mastery here is the hook is 80% of your video. If you develop a solid hook plus a winning idea, your video will most likely gain the attraction that you want and need. Remember that 80% of it is the hook plus a winning idea. Those two things together are very powerful. But what makes a strong hook? We got relevance. How relevant is it to your viewers' everyday life? Does it resolve pains or does it hit potential benefits that they can have? Just think about what's in it for the reader. Number 2 here is awareness. Is it simple or complex enough for the level of awareness you are targeting? Will they understand what you are about to show them? That's an extremely important thing. If you're too vague with what you're saying, or you have tons of metaphors and you're on a short form platform rather than YouTube, which is a longer form platform, having metaphors and being vague gets away from the person that you're targeting because it's very hard to understand. So make sure that they understand what you're talking about when you show them. Don't make it too complex unless you're speaking to a more complex profile. Effort. How fast will they receive the results? Education, entertainment, or inspiration? And is it easy to get? Another thing I have here is the headline teases the ending without revealing the answer. That'll keep people curious when they hear that headline to where they want to watch more, because it's all about retention and watch time percentage. So you want to have that curiosity factor in there. You want to tease the ending without giving it away. Number 5 here is your content strategy funnel. So the goal is for viewers to take that next step. Your top of funnel content needs to be a funnel within itself. So literally think of like 10 pieces of content. How are those 10 pieces of content leading people down to that next part of your funnel, which is your middle of funnel? So top, that very top kind of content that you're making, top of funnel, how can people become aware of you, the brand? Well, you need to create content that reaches millions of people so they can first even become aware of you. This is your viral content. You're not speaking into very niche terms here. You're kind of going a little bit broader so people can just generally become aware of you. So this should be anywhere from 60 to 80% of your content where you're just trying to get people to discover you for the first time. And then the other 40 to 20% of your content should be the middle, how you can get people to follow you as a person. So this is where you create content that people recognize you for. It's the type of content that someone wants to see more about. This can be insights into your life and who you are. Quick example of that is I created this video about how I landed this client entrepreneur about 2 years ago. And this was a little bit more into my kind of life. It's adding that personality in there. That's how I get people to follow me for me, which is important. And then also that 40 to 20% should also be focused on that bottom. How can you get the viewer to take the next step? This is one of the most simple things, but people do not do it when it comes to the bottom funnel kind of content. It's just adding a call to action to the content. For some reason, everyone is extremely afraid of doing this, and you shouldn't be. Without implementing CTAs, you will be friend zoned by your audience. You must bring the viewer into your world, and doing a call to action to whether it's a lead magnet or something that you're selling is extremely important. Taking a look at some of the top creators like Justin Welsh, if we scroll down, he's literally on almost every single post doing a call to action to his middle of funnel, which is his newsletter. Scroll here to his newsletter, to his newsletter, to his newsletter. It's plastered all over his social media, and for some reason, people don't do this. And even if you are a beginner, you still want to do this. You want to capture every single lead. It's not going to affect you that much. But if you're really worried about it, only do this about 20% of the time when it comes to CTAs on your videos. But honestly, you could do more, but we just keep it at 20% because it's just a healthy thing to have there. So give, ask. That's from Gary Vee. Give, ask. Always be asking, especially if you're providing a lot of valuable information. All right, so that's content synthesizing. If you're a creator, you can use this to help find more winning ideas where you dive deep into other content that creators are making and just kind of remake it for yourself, or you go into in-depth books, newsletters, whatever it is. You just want to go a little bit deeper, share that winning information with a viewer, and you'll get tons of followers. If we go over to YouTube, that's literally what everyone is doing. So I'm on YouTube here. That's literally what like this guy's doing, talking about Ali Abdaal. It's literally just finding information about Ali Abdaal and presenting it to you. That's kind of what I'm doing right now, to be quite frank with you. Same thing what Dan Koh's doing, the 7 best internet business models. He didn't just come up with this video idea by himself. He did a lot of research and listened to other creators and saw what are the best models to go after. Ali Abdaal is doing that. He's just finding in-depth information about productivity and then showing you the winning parts of it that are going to help you. It's really that simple. And it's simple, but it's also not a quick and easy thing. This does take time to do, and it takes a little bit of time to build. But like I said, you can still make money off of followers, $1 per follower. So even if you have 1,000 followers, you can literally make $1,000 a month and even more if you do this right and follow my steps here. Just to highlight, somebody like Alex Hormozi is doing this. If you watch some of his podcasts, all he is literally doing is repeating quotes that he's gotten from somebody else. And one big tip is one of his mentors is Russell Brunson. This guy is the inventor of ClickFunnels. This is Alex Hormozi's mentor. And a lot of the stuff that Alex Hormozi says comes from this guy's mouth. If you watch his content long enough, you'll notice that there's a lot of parallels and similarities in how they speak. It's because Alex Hormozi is literally just synthesizing the winning ideas from Russell Brunson. All right, so that's content synthesizing, and it's kind of exposing what all the creators are literally doing right now. Nothing wrong with it. This is a valuable skill to have in the future. As that one quote said, we're living in a world of information abundance, but lack wisdom. If you're somebody who can provide that wisdom to a particular audience, then you will be able to buy that attention online. So now let's get into developing your product/offer. This is probably one of the most important parts when it comes to this full guide or this full course for you. Developing a winning offer and positioning yourself uniquely and using a community is one way to do that. It's going to allow you to differentiate yourself from every other creator out there and really productize yourself and productize your knowledge. So we're going to be going through a little bit of a worksheet, but before we do that, let's understand the goals here and then, what is value. So the goal with this section is to develop a product plus community offer. And I have a little worksheet, like I said, we're going to be going through. And then the second is developing a info product offer, which will be the backbone of your community and make it easy for people to opt in. Yes, people are looking to be a part of a community and have that network effect, that accountability effect to it. But the best way to get people into your community is building some sort of info product. This is going to give your community a higher value, and you could even charge a lot more upfront and charge a little bit less on the monthly subscription in the back end, but I'll talk about that in a bit. So a winning offer, we want to provide value. The goal of an offer is to provide so much value in a unique way that is a no-brainer decision for your targeted audience. How can you present a winning offer to somebody where it's a no-brainer? They just opt into it right away. And that's all about how you formulate your offer and your info product and community. The value provided should be 10x. But what is value? Well, we have number one, financial value. Number two, cause the person that you want to present the offer to believe that they will likely succeed. Number three, make them feel like they can do it in much less effort and sacrifice. So closing that gap in between what they want and removing the amount of effort and sacrifice needed to get to their dream state, that is considered a very valuable thing. And then number four, help them accomplish their goal and see results they want with far less time investment. So as I was saying before, closing that gap to where they get to their desired state a lot quicker is something that's valuable to somebody. So it's not always related to financials, but of course we can use that within our offer to develop a knockout offer. So having a knockout offer is really just truly understanding the avatar you want to service. If you understand that person, you can understand how to develop a community and info product around that person and understand all their pains, problems, and sell them easily. So number one, we're going to identify the dream outcome. What is it that your avatar really wants? Number two, we're going to list out their perceived problems. So every single problem that they're encountering. And then number three, we're going to turn all their problems into a solution. So here's a little visual for you. Here's their perceived problems, everything that your avatar is going through. We can use somebody who's interested in going into the gym and working out. And then here's their dream outcome. So here's a little diagram for you. We have somebody who has perceived problems, and then their dream outcome is a gap away. And then within the gap is your offer. Your offer is helping them get to their dream outcome. Whether somebody wants to get to the gym and have a six-pack, your offer is there to help them do that, help them achieve their dream outcome. It's the vehicle that's going to get them there. All right, so here's some actionable steps that you can do. And this is the community offers creation worksheet. Use this community offer creation worksheet to build a no-brainer offer for your niche. It helps you understand your audience and craft an offer that meets their needs. Shout out to Eddie Cumberbatch for this. He showed me this sheet and I thought it was pretty good. So I just took it, used it for my own, and developed it a little bit better, in my opinion. And we're going to help you develop a knockout offer using this worksheet. So first step here is identifying the perceived problems. So what you want to do is create a list of all the problems that your avatar is facing. So some examples of this is somebody who is trying to go to the gym and maybe get a six-pack. So they don't know what exercises to do in the gym. That's a problem that they're facing. They don't know what foods to eat. They have no accountability in their workout, and they're too busy to meal prep, etc. The list can go on. And you can see how we can start to turn these problems into a solution. So the no accountability to a workout. Well, having a coach there that's going to hold them accountable is something that is turning their problem into a solution, and we can use that in our offer, but more on that as we go. Also, create a list of every single intricate step that they're going to have to do or take in order to see success with your product. So example, they're going to have to go shopping for healthy food, meal prep, exercise 4 to 5 times a week, stay motivated in the gym, take supplements, and proper nutrition. This just goes on and on. We're going to be using all of this as firepower when we develop our offer later on. So this is important to fill out for whatever avatar that you're going after. So finally, in this first part here, you want to identify the 3 to 5 biggest problems that your avatar is facing, where it's a huge problem for them that doesn't cost much for you to fulfill. You want to write that down into a deeper 5 to 7 sentence explanation about those core problems. This is just really understanding your avatar as much as possible. Number 2 is their desired situation. Now that we have the pains and problems on paper, we need to identify where their avatar wants to go. This is their dream life. So examples here, going back to somebody who wants to work out and get a six-pack, their dream life is having a six-pack abs while eating the food that they love. They want to also feel healthy. They want to build muscle to attract the opposite gender. They want to be motivated and have systems and routines to stick to. Where are they trying to go? What is that dream situation that they really want? Number 3 is developing your unique selling proposition. Before we bridge the gap, we need to figure out what about you, the creator, or if you're doing this for another creator, that makes their offer unique in the market. This is the most important part of the entire process. Write a long, unorganized brain dump paragraph arguing why you, the creator, are extremely unique in selling this product and community. What really makes you unique yourself, or if you're doing this for another creator, what really makes them unique? So number 1, what would make viewers know you deeply? This is just going to help you to find your unique selling proposition. Number 2, what will make them trust you deeply? This can be past experience or the community that you're even cultivating at the moment. Number 3, why should viewers believe the creator can help them go from their current situation to their desired situation the way they want to get there? This is something that you might have done in the past where you yourself maybe didn't have a six-pack. You got a six-pack and you have the proof to show it. You may have helped others in the past. Whatever it may be, write that down. Once again, this is all going to be firepower for developing that offer at the end. All right, number 4 in the worksheet is the current situation. This is where you want to list out the 3 most important points in your current situation, and then explain your current situation in 1 sentence. 3 major pain points. For example here, a new gym membership situation is training with a desire to learn the best workout for building muscle, proper lifting technique, the right nutrition, and a great routine so they can be consistent and develop a killer bod to increase self-worth and pull chicks. So that's their current situation right there. And then you want to put that into a 1 sentence explanation for yourself right here. Number 5, the vehicle. This is developing the actual offer, what you're going to be providing your avatar. So we want to list out the 15 to 30 plus steps, how you plan to take them from their current situation to their desired situation in order. Think about this as the avatar's experience in your soon to be paid info community. Where do they start? What do they do inside? Where do they finish? So this is really developing that info product and the community within there, where you have the accountability factors, the coaching, the course for them to go through. So here's a little thing. You want to have their current situation, your community vehicle. So this is your info product and community that gets them to their desired situation. Your vehicle equals your offer, which equals your product. And then how long will the bridge take realistically? So write out the desired situation, list out the 3 most important points in your ideal avatar's desired situation, and then explain their desired situation in 1 sentence. You can do that right here. The number 6 is the community offer transformation. Now that we have the current situation, the vehicle, and the desired situation, we want to put it all together in a single transformation. 1 sentence to explain the vehicle, then 1 sentence to explain the desired situation. All those together is going to be your offer that you can present to people. All those together is going to be your community offer that you'll be able to present to people who go through your lead nurturing system. So if we look at Danko's offer for his digital economics course, we have here, get the master degree curriculum to learn how to build your product or service, land clients, and automate sales. And this is everything that you get within it. So that's what we're developing here with those, couple of sentences is this kind of offer, and then all of these things below that you can provide within your community. It's really connecting that community into your offer, and we'll show you how to develop your community and make it a knockout community later in this video. So here's a really great example of an offer from Digging Coal, their Ship 30 for 30, where they have start writing online in 30 days. Ship 30 for 30 is a cohort-based course that's taught over 7,000 students the fundamental of writing on the internet. But unlike other writing courses you want to learn passively, you'll create 30 pieces of published writing, build lifelong friendships, and leave with a new perspective for what is possible online. So for somebody who is coming across this for the first time and wants to start writing online, here's a clear path. The person wants to start writing online, and you're going to be doing it in 30 days. That goes back to closing the gap a little bit. That's a value add right there. They also have right here, but unlike other writing courses, you won't learn passively. So that's a problem that a lot of people who are trying to write online are coming across when they buy courses, is that they're learning passively and there's no accountability. And they're clearly stating that problem here. They understand their customer avatar and know that they don't want to learn passively. So that's a big problem that they're stating, and how they're going to get you there is you'll create 30 pieces of published writing, build lifelong friendships. So this is their dream state right here, where they're going to be creating 30 pieces of published writing, build lifelong friendships, and leave with a new perspective for what is possible online. So that's their dream state. This is the problem that people are occurring when it comes to online writing, and they're going to do that in 30 days, closing the gap. So they have all this key points that they're hitting on here within their offer that is allowing them to convert their avatar into paying clients and literally making like $5 million a year from this. Here's a little bit more to their offer that they are providing. They're literally stating that all beginner writers face the same 10 problems. So they went through basically this worksheet where we went through the problems here. So the perceived problems that all beginner writers are facing. So let's go back. So distractions, over editing, perfectionism, procrastination, self-confidence, generating ideas, imposter syndrome, writing consistently, choosing a platform, finding time to write. So through them just building this company of teaching people how to write online, they really understood their avatar and know the 10 biggest problems that they're facing. And now when it comes to their unique selling proposition, they stated all the problems that their avatar is facing, and then their unique selling proposition is the accountability that you've been missing. That's their unique part, where they're clearly stating that you're going to be accountable. You're going to create 30 pieces of content in 30 days. Now also ties into the dream state where they create pieces of content. That's what they want to do, create online content, and they're going to help you develop 30 pieces of that. So they have a really great offer hitting on all these points here, and this worksheet is going to help you develop something like that. Your offer is something that you're always going to be working on, but this worksheet will definitely help you develop a knockout offer and uniquely position yourself. But as you go about this, as you get more people into your community, you'll really start to understand what their actual pain points are and what their actual dream desires are, and you can incorporate that into your community, your info product, and then of course into your offer as well, where you really understand your avatar. Some last final things here with your offer to make it even a little bit better is having guarantees, scarcity, urgency, bonuses, value stocks, price drops, and social proof. So last couple things with your offer to really enhance it is one, having guarantees. Can you guarantee them a specific result in X amount of time? Basically what Ship 30 for 30 is doing, they're almost guaranteeing people that they can create 30 pieces of content in 30 days. Scarcity, how long is this offer going to be available? That's something that you can be like, only 5 days to be able to receive this offer. That's adding scarcity and urgency at the same time. Bonuses to that, what can you add as bonus material? Value stacks, is there other things that you can implement into your community, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, that allows you to put value into your offer. Price drops, social proof, all great things to enhance your offer. Number 8, community plus product naming. This is a big one that most people really ponder about. You just need to be really clear, so do not be vague. Do not have a play on words. Do not use metaphors. You want to be clear, concise, and explain exactly what you get. Quick example here, Ali Abdal, who makes around like 5 million a year from his course called Part-Time YouTuber. This is very clear and concise. What do you think you'll learn to become if you opted into part-time YouTuber? Well, a part-time YouTuber doing YouTube on the side. That's what the course is about. That's what it teaches you, and that's the name of it. So be very clear and concise with your community and the product naming. To top it all off, I'm adding this little thing right here. If creating this offer was a little bit confusing for you, just keep this in mind. How can you help X, your avatar, get Z, their desired outcome, with Y, your community, and other value adds that you can place into it? So that's all it really is. This is what the worksheet helps you develop, is this part right here. So don't overcomplicate it in the beginning. Go through it, develop it, and then improve upon it as you go about getting people in your community. All right, so let's go over how to build the community. This is actually pretty simple. We're going to be doing this on Skool.com, as you know. This is the title of the video. So what you want to do is head over to Skool and just create your group name, your community name, insert your card here, and you will have a free trial for 14 days. But the reason why we want to use Skool is because it's, in my opinion, one of the best design platforms to build a community and host your info product and really foster a great learning environment for your students. So go ahead and do that. And it's pretty simple. Once you're in there, here's a test group that I have. So here's your community area where you can have general discussions. So you can also create other areas within this community part here. And to do that, just go to settings, go to categories. So in your categories, you can develop some like wins where people show their wins that they get from going through your info course and community. So you can add that there. Another one, a great one to add is questions. So people can ask some questions, and this is where you or any coaches that are in the community can answer some questions. Of course, add a little description so people know what this category is really supposed to be about. Add that there. You can even have one for certain announcements that you want to add, which will keep people in the community. Another great one is certain challenges. So developing a challenge that people can have discussions about will help reduce that churn. And we'll talk about proper community operation tactics later. But yeah, that's another great one to add. So this is how you add categories. People can write, you can write, everyone can see, start some discussions, network with each other. That's really important. And then you have your classroom. So go over to that tab, hit new course, and then you want to create the course name. So the best way to go about this is kind of separating the modules as their own course. For example, let's use somebody who's creating a public speaking course or some sort of articulation course that helps people public speak better or articulate their thoughts better and just become overall better conversationalist and speaker. So there's a lot of different modules that you would want to have in that. So don't all put it in one course. You want to kind of separate the course into their own modules, and I'll show you what I mean. So the first one might be vocal mastery, and then you want to upload a image with that. So here's a little image. You want to upload that, add a little bit of description of what exactly this section within the course or this module in the course will be about, and give all members access to it. Add that. In here, this is where you can title certain parts within this module. In here, you would want to separate into different categories within your module of what people need to know. So this first part can be vocal mastery overview. Then to create another section within this module, you just go to new set, add module and set, and this is a whole nother section. We want to edit this. So we have our overview. Now we want to get into the details. So we could do vocal frameworks, and you can even add videos to this. So you can link a YouTube video, Loom video, or even from Vimeo, whatever works best for you. And then you could add some text in here. So I always recommend doing a video, but then also having the text version laid out as well. You want to save that. Could add a video to this first one as well. Go back. So that's our vocal mastery module. The next module we would want to create is maybe something on storytelling. You want to upload an image for that, add a description, add that, and then create your categories within that module. So if we go back to our classroom, we have the vocal mastery, the storytelling, and all of this is going to be combining into your actual entire course or info product. A couple great things to add here as well is one-on-one coaching, that where you can just provide a link to book a call with you, and you'd want to drip that content out, meaning you would want to keep it locked and somebody has to do something specific, whether it's a certain challenge, and they'll be able to unlock that ability to have that call with you. This is the kind of stuff that's going to keep people within the community. and really just gamify the experience for them to where they have a reward at the end. That can be a certificate, talking to you, some sort of weekly calls that they then have access to. This is what will keep people there and keep on providing value to people. Second is the calendar. This is where you can put weekly calls if you want to, or just any scheduled events. Pretty simple, and all of your community members will be able to see this. From there is the leaderboards. This is something that I really like about Skool, where you can, as I was saying before, gamify a lot of things. So with the leaderboards, people can earn up points, and the way they do that is being active community members. So if they write a post and get a lot of likes, each like they get will increase their level on the leaderboard. So what this is doing is really just making sure people are active community members. That's a big thing. You don't want a dead community. So having certain levels for them to get to will have that accountability factor in there. And the way to edit this is just go back to the community over here and go to settings, go over to gamification, and we can edit the title of the level. So the first one could be public speaking noob. And then for the second and the rest to come, you can label those accordingly to what someone will become if they are a level 9. And the way for them to become a level 9 is, once again, they write some stuff that is beneficial to other community members. That's a big thing, getting people to participate within your community and providing value. So you're not the only one providing value, and that will get them up the leaderboard. And once they're up the leaderboard, they can unlock certain things within the classroom. So one unlock for someone to have is, if they become a level 7, meaning that they really participated, everyone's really liking the value that they're providing in the community, that's when they can become inner member within your classroom. So this can be a specific weekly call with a select group of people who are at a certain level. And this is something that a lot of people are going to want to attain because it's just more value that you're providing to them. The about section here is where you're going to want to provide a video, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, a VSL. You can use this as a landing page, but we're going to make our own landing page, as I don't think this is the most effective area to convert people yet. This is sort of Skool's landing page, but definitely want to add a video here and what people are going to get within your course. So your offer and all the bonuses, the value stacks that you are providing them with this community. Don't worry too much about this area. We're going to be developing a better system to convert followers into paying community members a little bit later in this full course. That's all it really is. Setting up a community is actually extremely simple, and you want to start with a minimal viable product. So you don't want to just completely build out everything all the way yet, as your community members will sometimes dictate what your community should be. You don't want to spend all this time developing a info product, a spectacular community for people to not get the most valuable that they can, because one way to provide the most value to people is actually getting them within the community first, understanding their pains, their desires, and then building products and systems around that within the community. So just start. It can be small, and you can charge small. So if you're just starting out, only charge $5 to $15. Now, if you have a whole course within there, that's where you can start to charge more, like $100 a month, and even more than that, as I'll talk about pricing when it comes to the info product a little bit later. But yeah, start small. Don't have to do anything crazy. As you're building, raise the price. That's another way to even get that scarcity factor and that urgency factor in there. Is as you continue to build, you tell people, hey, more's going on in the community. The price is going to raise within an X amount of days, and that's going to make them want to hop in the community before the price raises. So that's a really great urgency tactic there. So start building. All right, so the next section we want to focus on is actually capturing leads for your community. I'm going to be letting you guys in on some sauce. Once again, this is what the top influencers, creators are doing at the moment to sell their cohort-based style learning, except we want to switch into this community style learning to stay ahead of the curve. And I was kind of mentioning a little bit on this in the beginning when it came to content, but viewers and followers need to be captured off platform so you can contact them when you want. This is extremely important. Otherwise, you're just relying on the algorithm the whole time to make sure that your content is being pushed towards your followers. Yes, you can do that, but capturing a email and having your follower list off platform allows you to contact them whenever you want, which is extremely important, especially when nurturing people to get into your community. So the barrier of entry for a viewer to be brought into your world has to be low, right? Supplying them with a more in-depth world view will result in a development of your community. So like I said, when you want to be world building, you want to take incremental steps. Just like content, how you create content in a way to have somebody view you for the first time, then follow you, and then take the next step into your deeper funnel and into your world. But that barrier of entry has to be low. It can't be too much of an ask. It's very hard to go from discovery type content, that viral content, to someone automatically purchasing your paid community. It doesn't work like that. The follower's journey is a little bit more complex, but not really, because I'm going to break it down for you. But it's just, that's such a gap for somebody to watch your content for the first time and then purchase your paid community. So what I recommend is creating a newsletter, right? A newsletter will be considered a lead magnet. And what this does is just allows you to provide more value, trust, and authority while getting your viewers email in the process. So you can contact them anytime you want. And keep your newsletter free. We don't want to do anything paid yet. The whole purpose of a free newsletter is to engage your social followers further. Expand on what's working with your content. Just go a little bit more deeper, give a little bit more valuable, and sell your digital community later. Your job is to deliver so much valuable content that you should be charging for, but decide to give it away for free. That's what your newsletter is all about, and that's pretty much what your content in general should be about. So building out the email list, the newsletter, keeps you from getting friend zoned. So when building out your email list or your newsletter, do not get friend zoned by never doing CTAs. I touched on this a little bit earlier in this course, but you should always be plugging your newsletter or the thing you are trying to sell every day. And I have this little tweet here from Dakota Robertson saying, the content that gets you the most likes is usually not the content that gets you the most money. The content that gets you the most money is the content where you implement CTAs. Going back to the example of Justin Welsh, he is literally plugging his newsletter almost, I would say, on like half of his tweets here. We can see newsletter. Danko is constantly plugging links to either his products, his newsletter, or even like his YouTube channel. So always have CTAs. That's how you don't get friend zoned from your audience. So a quick kind of like overview of this is for Twitter, just tweet and then link to newsletter and repeat. That's simple. Keep it easy and simple. Instagram, description, CTA to newsletter. I constantly, in my descriptions on Instagram, am telling people to take that next step into my funnel, which is the newsletter. You could also end the winning videos with CTAs to the newsletter. So if you have a video that pops off, recreate it, add a CTA at the end of it, telling people to check out your newsletter, then you'll see a lot of conversions from there. YouTube, newsletter, link in description, naturally interweave your newsletter into the content you are talking about. So you could think of like a sponsor in a way when it comes to YouTube videos. That reminds me, check out my newsletter as we're speaking about this. That's how you naturally interweave it. The key to driving newsletter subscribers is to think of your newsletter as the expanded, more valuable version of all your social content. So for example, my newsletter is all of this, but way more in depth. Everything that I talk about on my Instagram, I go 5 times more in depth. So that makes it so much more valuable for A, someone who's interested in me, but B, someone who wants to dive into my world a little bit, see how I'm thinking about things, and that will help translate to eventually selling them in the community. And that will help translate eventually selling them into the paid community. And here's a quick example. So if you create a video on the best business books you should read, then the newsletter should give even more resources for readers to dig into, or podcasts that authors have done, except whatever it may be, that's a little bit more in depth. So there's 2 types of newsletters. You have your curation newsletter, or this can be another word for synthesizing. This is where you're compressing a ton of information on a specific subject into a quick read. Then you have your original thinking. This is a very in-depth, thoughtful insights, analysis, and unique information on a specific subject. The original thinker is typically a harder one to create and takes a lot more time. So I recommend going with curation first. And then once you get good, combine it. And that's synthesizing. Add your thoughts and ideas on top of the curation newsletter, connect ideas together. Then it's that original thinking plus curation, and you have a pretty solid newsletter from there. So, and that's all to just build that value, trust, and authority. So this is your middle of funnel where you're building all of this to sell somebody into the community. They're becoming more a part of your world, which is extremely important. So lead magnet mastery. You might be thinking I just said that a newsletter is a lead magnet, and that is the case. But here's the thing, to even get more newsletter subscribers, you can have a lead magnet for your lead magnet, aka your newsletter, which is really important. And I'll show you an example of this in a second, but a lead magnet is a complete solution to a narrow problem given away at a significant discount or for free to attract ideal customers. Once a lead magnet solves the narrow problem, it should reveal the next problem solved only by your core offer. Lead magnets get prospects one step closer to buying your stuff. So examples of this is, say you're trying to have someone make their first 10,000 online, but they first need to make $1,000. So that's the narrow problem that your lead magnet can provide. And to make this super simple, you can just put it in a Google Doc, have a PDF, have a little sign up, and you can use Beehive or ConvertKit. So here's some tools here. So Beehive is great for hosting a newsletter. It makes it super simple to send out your newsletter or emails to everyone and capture emails, as well as they have a great little website builder to capture an email. ConvertKit is really good for newsletters as well. This is if you want to run a couple lead magnets to help gain subscribers for your newsletter. As you can see, we're running a couple of lead magnets here that are getting a lot of subscribers every single day, and we send out a weekly newsletter with every single subscriber that goes through a lead magnet. To go back to this example, so let's say our business is trying to help online coaches get $10,000 a month. Well, we would want to make a very specific, narrow guide for their problem to get them over to that email list. And this is Guide to Make Your First 1,000 Online as a Coach. And then within that lead magnet, that's when you can start to push people over to the paid community. Once you've solved their specific problem, which is getting their first 1,000, you show them how to do that. That's when at the end you ask for them to take the next step into purchasing your info product or paid community. Another example is case studies, how we grew a community to $50,000 a month. That can be a lead magnet, for example. Or if you are making a program to teach people how to run their first marathon, you can first get them to run their first 5K, which is a couch to running 5K guidebook that they can download. And now they're a part of your newsletter where you can consistently contact them every week with a newsletter. Even a YouTube video. A YouTube video can be a lead magnet in a sense. Think about this, what I'm creating here. This is technically a lead magnet to get you to trust me, to make you see me as an authority, and then to eventually get you over to whatever I'm selling, right? And I like this quote here from Alex Hormozi. He says, "Be a legal drug dealer and you'll make money." So what he means by that is how a drug dealer makes a lot of money is they give you a little bit of a hit for free to get you addicted so that you keep on coming back. And if you think about your lead magnet like that, it's a hit of extreme value where somebody wants to then come back to get the full amount, right? Which is your paid community and course. Right here, as I was saying, use lead magnets to build your email list and newsletter. So once again, you can have a guide to make your first 1,000 online, plug that through your social content, you exchange it for email, they get a PDF. Now they're a part of your bigger newsletter, and they also got a lot of value from this guide that you made. And we'll be going over a proper funnel for all of this, but let's just keep on chugging on. So a really great way to develop a lead magnet is basically just creating a sales letter or a VSL, video sales letter, however you want to approach it. And I'll show you an example in a second here, but pretty much everything that you are seeing on YouTube at the moment is a VSL, and we'll go over that. So there are 3 key objectives of a sales letter. First is to educate them to buy. If you can check these 3 boxes, they will buy. They need to know the creator, the journey story. They need to trust the creator, the social proof. And they need to believe that the creator has the perfect solution for their gap. The offer needs to satisfy their pain, their current situation, and desire, their desired situation. So if it has these things, they will buy. Number 2 is clearly satisfy their pain. Appeal to their desires, bridge the gap in their mind. If you check these 3 boxes, you have a successful sales letter. Does the sales letter clearly state their current situation and satisfy their pain? Does their sales letter perfectly bridge the gap between their current and desired situation? And then number 3 here is get them to the call to action. All sales letters, all lead magnets should always have a call to action in it. And if you think about it like your guide to making your first 1,000 online, that's a great lead magnet to have. And you would want to create it like a VSL. So they need to know your story in the beginning. They need to trust you by then you providing the information and social proof. And they need to believe that you have the perfect solution for their desired situation. So if the desired situation is to make 10,000 a month online and you're providing them a clear-cut way to make 1,000, you're providing a step in their desired situation. And that's where at the end you give them the call to action to your actual pay community where you show them how to make $10,000 a month online as a coach. I'm going to show you a quick example of this. This is some secret sauce that I am going to let you in on. So I have this little lead magnet for my newsletter that I created. So I have this lead magnet for my newsletter that I created for myself. And what it is, I use just Beehive to collect an email. And then once they enter that email, once they subscribe to it, they get this PDF or this lead magnet where I show them how I 400x'd Entrepreneur Media's awareness with short form content in 1 month. It's a full case study. So this provides a lot of value for somebody who is just looking to solve a narrow problem, which is understanding how to go viral on content first. This is a single small problem through a case study, showing them how to fix that using Entrepreneur Media to their much larger problem, which is first they need to gain views. That's the small problem. They need to change those views into actual paying clients and customers. That's the bigger problem, but this lead magnet is solving that narrow problem. And this is all using Beehive. You can set that up on your own, and I'll just show you how this is kind of built like a VSL. So here's the case study here. The first part is, once again, making sure that people know who the creator is. So I give a little bit of my story. I'm somebody who worked with amazing brands and influencers and helped them generate social media content and, more importantly, revenue. So these are the people I worked with: Entrepreneur Media, CBS, Paramount Plus, Robert Kiyosaki, Steve-O. Yes, I actually worked for him with his podcast. He was paying for my services. Jen Cohen, a lot more other people I worked with back in my helping people with content days. But yeah, so I'm getting people to trust me in the beginning, just like a VSL would. So they need to know me, the creator, my journey, and they need to trust me. So this is what the beginning is starting to do. I show who I am, a little bit of social proof. And then from there, that's where I provide as much value. This is where I bridge the gap in their mind. So the gap that they're looking for here is how to go viral using content. So the gap that they're trying to find out here through this lead magnet is how to go viral. And I provide all that information right here. Then at the end, I give them a CTA, a call to action. You can see here, next steps. Didn't really want to sell them in this one. That's totally fine. I just want to get some more newsletter subscribers. But if you were going to sell them a paid community on the back end, this is where you would do that. You would lead them to that next step, which is your paid community. So that's VSLs. Think of everything as a VSL. Even the YouTube videos you create, the content you create, watch some YouTube videos. You'll notice that everything pretty much now is a VSL that you're seeing from everybody. And if you formulate it like this, you have a pretty good chance of people taking that next step in your world, which is the paid community, of course. Also, another thing, webinars are sales letters. So we're going to take a look at Iman Ghazi here. Looking at Iman Ghazi, he wants you to sign up for a webinar. And how does he approach that webinar? The main goal of it is to gain more authority for him, gain more trust with the viewers, and provide more value. All in the name of having people convert into educate his online course at the end of it. And it's all approached just like this. In the beginning, what he's doing is letting you know his journey, giving social proof. This might be in the case of other course students' wins, just showing that through his webinar. And then he's bridging the gap, the desired situation that he's trying to solve for you. And he's showing you how to do that in the webinar. And then at the end, he makes a CTA for you to purchase Educate. You'll start to know that other creators who do webinars, it's just basically a VSL. And if you follow this format, you'll be golden. You also collect a lot of emails when doing a webinar. Don't totally recommend doing that because you have to get good at running a webinar. There's much easier and low touch solutions to make just the same amount of money that these top creators who are running webinars are doing. I don't think it's personally the best, but if you have luck with it, but if it works for you, of course, keep on doing it. All right, so we went through all of this. This is all just covering what you should be doing in preparation for launching your community. We're going to go over the funnel, which is going to give you a bird's eye view on how everything connects with each other and how that funnel really works to move that follower, that viewer down to your actual product and community. So at the top, we have the traffic source, which is any social platform. Right here, I just have Instagram and YouTube. Of course, if you're on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever it is, it all works the same. You're gaining traffic from one area. YouTube's a little bit more middle of funnel, but from all of this, you want to lead it to your lead magnet. This can be your newsletter. This can be a little bit of a guide that you make, whatever it is. You lead all of your social media traffic you're following to your newsletter or lead magnet. From there, in your lead magnet or newsletter, you have CTAs. This CTA is going to bring you to a VSL, a landing page with a VSL, and or a waitlist. I recommend if you are launching your community for the first time, just have people go to a waitlist. That's all that's needed. And then you're going to have a landing page with a VSL on it to get people to convert. So when it's time to launch and you have that waitlist built up, you can email market them to say that, hey, the community is now open. Come join, and there'll be a landing page for that with that VSL on there, and that's where they're going to purchase your product and become onboarded into your community. Now, before I get you into actionable steps, I just want to go through a quick community case study because this is how your community should feel as you're building it. So we're going to model off of one of the highest paid communities, which is Y Combinator. This is a $600 million community, and basically what Y Combinator is, it's a VC fund known for providing seed funding for startups. So it's really known for helping accelerate some of the largest companies today. So we have Stripe, Reddit, Twitch, Airbnb, DoorDash, Dropbox. What they did is provided capital to these founders in like the very, very beginning of them starting these companies. And they built a very exclusive community that tech founders are dying to be a part of, even though Y Combinator will own a percentage of their startup. So once again, they provide them with seed funding, around $120,000 to the founder in exchange for owning a part of that company. But why are people really dying to be selected for Y Combinator? Because there's a lot of VC funds out there. There's a lot of people who will invest into your SaaS company or whatever. What Y Combinator does differently is they have access to VC networks. So even when they do give you $120,000, you also have access to other VC networks where more people can invest into your startup, which is essential as you begin to build your tech company. You also have coaches and mentors. This is something that other VC funds do not provide. You have excellent coaching and mentors. You have weekly dinners with guest speakers. So they'll have sometimes like Mark Zuckerberg come out to weekly dinners. The creator of OpenAI, he'll come out and speak. You'll also learn the skills of running and operating a successful business. They also have successful alumni, a proven track record, so social proof. And they also partner you up with another student to create something bigger and better. If you really look at Y Combinator, it's not a VC fund. It's a community with an info product. They have the coaches and mentors. They have the weekly dinners, the events like a weekly call. They teach you the skills of running and operating a successful business. They have successful alumni, so other very successful people in the community, aka coaches, and they partner you up. They have that network aspect, which a community has, so people can create something bigger and better. So at the end of the day, Y Combinator is an exclusive school and community that will guarantee your success. So translating this over to your community, you need a killer offer, exclusivity, network access, coaching and mentoring, guaranteed results, and accountability. Now you don't need to have all of this in the beginning, but the more the better, and that means the more you can charge. So we want to model after Y Combinator here. We want to have that exclusivity factor with your community. I think one of the biggest things is not letting everyone and anyone into your community who's just going to pay you whatever amount that it is. And the one thing that people aren't really focusing on who are building communities now is having that exclusivity factor. People want what they can't have. If you can create this sort of exclusive feeling within your community, that means a lot of people can't have that. And that just prompts people to want to join even more. That's one of the biggest things that all of these communities or all these other creators who are making content about Skool, that's like a huge thing that they're missing. So you built your community out a little bit on Skool and you're getting ready to launch it. First thing you would want to do is build your waitlist. Your waitlist is there to develop a number of people who are extremely warm and ready to hop on your offer once you release it. One way to build your waitlist is to call to action to it on all your social platforms. Heavily push your waitlist through your lead magnet or your newsletter. Every single week, have a call to action to your separate email list, which is your newsletter, and use main marketing messages on waitlist site. So you can use Beehive or ConvertKit to create a site and have your main marketing messages about your community on that. So you can use ConvertKit or Beehive to capture emails on your waitlist using those marketing messages that we helped develop when we created your offer. All right, so now that you have the waitlist built up and you're getting ready to launch that community for the first time, that's when you want to have the waitlist FOMO sequence for launch. The goal here is to create a launch email sequence to develop extreme urgency and create exclusivity. FOMO just means fear of missing out. How do we create that? How do we create something where people are fearful of not getting into your community? We do this through the email sequence that we're about to create. You don't have to overcomplicate this. If you've done the work before with your content, your lead nurturing system, your lead magnet, your newsletter, this FOMO sequence doesn't have to be the most thought out thing. It could actually be extremely easy. To do this, you want to use your main marketing messages throughout your email. So with your header, it's going to look like something like this. 5 days left to enroll in X. X is your community that you created. And then the body. This is where you're just going to bridge the gap from where they are to their desired outcome. One way to do this is just answering common objections that somebody might have or common problems that they run into along their journey. You also want to create a little bit of trust using success stories. Now, if you're doing this for the first time. Obviously might not have success stories, but what you can do is provide more insight into the info product and community. So showing them a little bit of what modules are in the community will develop a little bit more trust. And then you want to reiterate your urgency. The community will only be open for 5 more days. Make sure to opt in now, and that's where you're going to link to your landing page with the VSL on it. So you want to follow this here every single day for 5 days, or if you want to keep it at 10 days, whatever it may be. I recommend anywhere from 5 to 10 days for somebody to opt into your community. Anything longer than that, it won't really have that urgency effect to it. But yeah, all you have to do is follow this template here and then link to a website landing page. So for that website and landing page, it can be what we were talking about before. It can be this about page here where people can see your VSL that you create to get into the community and everything that comes with it. This is an okay area to have it. If you don't want to complicate things, definitely just use this. But if you want to really work on converting more leads, definitely recommend building out a landing page. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So overview of a great landing page. The niche, what makes your community different, highlighting that. The problem, what are you solving and why? So basically your offer. The solution, is this solution new, unique, different, and going to work? The transformation, how is the customer different afterwards? So once they reach your desired situation, how are they different? You want to highlight these things on a landing page. So here's your landing page checklist. And this is how things should go in order in this exact checklist. So your niche, a very specific headline, then your amazing main offer, who it's for, tons of social proof, pain points, benefits unlocked, how it works, sneak peek, client/customer wins, what you get inside, bonuses, pricing, fact, refund policy. It should follow this exact order. And the tools that you want to use for this is card.co. I believe this is free. It's pretty easy to just create a quick landing page. In fact, I think Danco uses this website. If we go to ship 30 for 30, they follow this exact format where they're stating their niche, their main offer, then who it's for. That's right here. That's the next section. Tons of social proof. So if we see right here, here's some social proof of some founders who are recommending ship 30 for 30. Pain points, which is a big one. So going back here, all the beginner writers face the same 10 problems. So these are all the pain points that they're listing out. And then they go over the benefits, how it works, a little sneak peek of what's inside the community. This builds a little bit more trust. Client/customer wins if you have any, what you get inside like a full thing, bonuses, pricing, fact, and refund policy. So follow this, use card.co to build it, and take a look at your favorite creators' landing pages and see how they're structured. Kind of copy that. Course, make it a little bit of your own and you should be golden. Really, if you've done the work before with all the content, this really shouldn't be a problem. So what I'm going to do is just use card.co to develop something fairly quickly. We'll just select this. So for your header, you obviously want to state your niche. So it's pretty straightforward, just building out like your header, have your main offer right here, little call to action for somebody to go down and purchase. Then you want to use Stripe here to collect any purchases. So when it comes to actually figuring out what price to sell your community and your info product, the beautiful thing about the info product is you can charge a lot upfront. So anywhere from $150 to $1,000 upfront, depending on how well built your course is and what specific problem it's solving for somebody. You can charge a lot upfront and then a little bit for a subscription. I recommend going with that model as you'll earn a lot more upfront and you won't have to worry about churn too much. Of course, we want to mitigate all churn when it comes to the online community, but having that info product there will also make your community and your brand a lot more high value if you're charging a lot more. It'll also make your community and brand feel a little bit more premium if you're charging a lot more. Most people don't charge enough. Charge a lot with your info product and you want to use that with a landing page and Stripe. So you have your landing page, people go to Stripe, they pay for your info product. That automatically sends a message for them to get into the Skool community where they're then paying a $15 to $100 a month subscription to stay in that community. We're now going to go over the community accelerator to show you how to keep people in that community so that we're reducing churn and they're being provided the most amount of value so that they're in there for the long term. So the number one thing to really focus on in the community is accountability. The biggest biggest issue with just standalone info products is that there's no one to hold the customer accountable after purchasing the product. Your community delivers on your offer. And a big part of your offer is that accountability factor that people are seeking. So accountability is in the form of coaches and mentors, weekly calls, direct reviews. There's a couple things that you can add. So a quick example of this is if you have some sort of exercise weightlifting community, well, somebody can send coaches or mentors or even yourself direct video of them doing some sort of exercise, and you give feedback on whether that they're doing the correct form. That's a little bit of accountability. Another way to have accountability for that person who's working out is to have those weekly calls with them to make sure that they're getting in the gym and that they're eating right. Those are just some quick examples there. Number 2 is the network. So access to the network of individuals going through the same journey helps motivate the community member. We want to accomplish a few things with the network. Discover friends, which is important. Partner up to fill in weaknesses. Have idols to look up to and get advice from. So that's kind of where the coaches and mentors come in, or other successful people that have gone through your community and just want to help out. But a quick example of this is the whole coaches and consultants trying to make their first 10K a month online through paid communities. Well, within that, in teaching them, you can partner them up with people to help them build something bigger, where someone's really great at creating content and another person's really good at operating the back end. They kind of come together. That's something that's huge for them. They can also talk to other people who went through the course and have seen success, are making 10,000 plus a month, and they can talk to them. They can discover friends, people who are going along the same journey. That's a really big thing, where if you can find other coaches and consultants going through the same journey as you, you can kind of bounce off ideas and figure out how to bring each other up at the same time. And a great way to do this is creating open discussions about certain topics that allow that community aspect, or all these aspects right here, to just naturally happen. This keeps the community members engaged. So always create open discussions. And one way to do that is creating some posts and categories here with some wins, questions, announcements, and you create some other categories that will create some natural discussions, and all this stuff will happen here. The third thing for your community and reducing churn and accelerating it and scaling it is value add and gamified challenges. To keep your community members from leaving, you want to constantly provide value adds while creating games. The whole idea of gamifying something just stems back from obviously video games, where video games are just designed to keep somebody hooked in and to keep on playing. And if you take a look into the psychology of it, each time someone goes through a level, they're rewarded something. So you should take that same concept into your community, create a challenge for them. Then after that challenge, they're then rewarded with something. So value adds can be consistent industry updates, update in course material, QAs, new software or systems, discounts on other products. You can't gamify all of these. Probably the best thing you can gamify is update in course material, where there's new course material, but there's a certain actionable step that someone has to have. And then with that, once they complete that actionable step, something else unlocks within the community. This might be a one-on-one call with you. It might be a little bit more of a private inner circle type thing. Could even be a certificate for going through the whole entire course. Figure out ways to gamify these certain value adds. You just want to create an environment where your community members take action and see results on those value adds. The prize for taking action on the value adds can be unlocked material, new courses, one-on-one calls, etc. Already went over that. All right, so those are some ways to really accelerate your community, reduce that churn. And if you think about it, your community should be a membership. Going to a gym membership, what do you get? You get the weights, you get the sauna, you get the weights and the equipment they have access to. You get the sauna, the pool, a track, trainers, discount on supplements. You get all of these things when you pay for a gym membership. Same thing with a golf membership. You get access to the course. You also get access to the pool, the restaurant, drinks, tennis courts, locker room. This is a membership here. This is how you want to create your community. So think of your community as a membership where your community members have access to a variety of benefits. This can be coaches, mentors, network, even live events, discounts, software, job boards, etc. So just like a golf membership, where you pay a certain amount to have access to the golf course, the pool, but you also still have to pay each time you go to the restaurant. You can start to implement stuff like that. This might be a software that you partnered up with someone and you're giving a discount to everybody in your community to use this software. So start thinking in terms of a paid membership that will keep people within your community for the long run. You don't want them to leave. You just want to keep on providing as much value as you can. And then the last thing I have here is team up with other creators. So you're building a community, right? You yourself should practice what you preach and have that whole networking effect in there and partner up with another creator. This will 4x your community because you're adding another creator, which is going to add more leads, but you're doubling the value. You're adding the creator, which will add more leads, and then they're also providing more information, which is doubling the value. So this is something to look into, and I certainly have a lot more on this and everything that we covered, but this is all you need to get started and build a $50,000 a month paid community. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Go through this again, internalize everything, and start to take action. This is a full guide. You don't need to know more than this to start making money as a content creator. But now if you do want a more structured accountability environment where we will help you build your community, then join our waitlist where we're showing other creators and people who want to learn how to build communities to obtain a $50,000 a month acquisition channel through paid communities. What you can do is sign up on the waitlist, and there we will qualify to make sure that you're even able to join in the community. You have to meet certain requirements that will let you inside the community, but go ahead and apply for that on the wait list and we'll let you know if you get in. If you also enjoyed this full course, make sure to subscribe and share this with anybody that you are building with. And with that, I will see you in the next video.